I'm Vicki Ferrara. You know that. I'm the owner of Worldwide Surrogacy. And I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for over 30 years. I've been an out gay lawyer for all of those years. And that is how I got into surrogacy. I was doing a lot of legal work for the gay community for many years and doing surrogacy contracts and egg donation, sperm donation contracts. And people began to ask me if I could help them find a surrogate. That was about 12 or 13 years ago. And we started our agency then. So I have a team of people in Fairfield, Connecticut, and we have someone on our team who was a surrogate twice. She's been with me since the very beginning. We have other people who work in case management. We have a social worker. We have people who work in the money management. We have an escrow management system, which you don't have to use our escrow management system, but we have it available in case that's a service that you want through us as well. So basically, I like to tell people that there are 3 phases to the surrogacy process. The first one is the matching phase, and that's, for our program, about a 6-month waiting time. I'd say about 90% of our parents are matched at 6 months or under. There are a few with special circumstances or special requests that it takes a little bit longer, but we really do our best to match in 6 months or under. During that time, your case manager will be keeping in touch with you and letting you know how the search is going for you. And eventually, she will be showing you profiles of surrogates. So the first thing that we do is think about you and who you are and what you want, and then we choose from our pool of candidates as they're going through the screening and looking promising, someone who might be good for you. When you see the profile, if you don't like that profile for any reason, you can decline and we'll go on to the next profile. So once the profiles start coming, they'll come like relatively quickly, one after the other. But we want you to be happy and we want her to be happy, so it's going to be a mutually agreed to match. Usually our parents do pick a surrogate from within 3 that we show them because we are trying to make the right match and paying attention to you and paying attention to her and looking at all those really important criteria like how many embryos do you want to transfer, does she have insurance, where does she live, and will she terminate the pregnancy if that's something that you would want to do, if there's a birth defect, all those really important things that go into the match. So eventually, again, you will be matched. And then once you have a profile that you like, and we already know that she likes you, she's happy to work for a gay couple, so all that's working out fine, then you're going to meet her. Maybe in person, you can travel to where she is, or maybe by Skype. We have a lot of international parents, they do a lot by Skype, but you can also meet her in person. Once that meeting takes place, if you're good and she's good, and usually that's a formality, it's just like a chat, you know, get to know each other a little bit, then you confirm the match and we move to the next phase, the second phase, which is the medical and contract phase. So first, you go into a contract with her. We orchestrate that. Either I can do it as your lawyer, or if it's in a state where I'm not licensed to practice, then we would be referring you to counsel in that state. And we would make the referral because we know a lot of lawyers. I belong to some national organizations of assisted reproduction lawyers, so I could make a referral to a competent lawyer for you. And then once the contract's done, she goes to your clinic and she would start on the medical regimen, the medication, to become ready for the embryo transfer. So backing up for a second, making your embryos, you're going to choose a medical clinic. And usually during that matching time is when you will choose an egg donor, or maybe you have an egg donor and you'll make your embryos at your medical clinic. So then when the surrogate's ready, you have your embryos already. And then we go to the embryo transfer. So you'll hear the statistics from the doctors, but there's about a 99% chance of a pregnancy within 3 embryo transfers. And you have a pregnancy then, and we go into the third phase, which is the pregnancy. By then, you have a nice relationship with your surrogate, you're keeping in contact, you're caring for one another because it's such a big endeavor you're doing together in your lives. And then during that time, as your agency, we're making sure that the legal work gets done so that you become the legal parents of your child. And at the time of the birth, we make sure that you have your paperwork, The surrogate has the paperwork and the hospital has the paperwork, so there's no questions asked at the hospital. We make sure of that. We make sure that the hospital knows what insurances are being utilized, that you're the parents, and the hospitals are, at this point in time, very well versed in surrogacy. They know what to do as long as we tell them what the arrangement is. And then you have your baby, and then you go home and you start changing diapers. But everything goes really smooth because of a couple of reasons. One is the important screening that we do of every surrogate. And that, to me, is a very crucial aspect of what a surrogacy agency should be doing for you. So we have every surrogate who applies go through a psychological evaluation, a background investigation. We have a social worker on our staff who does a social work study. We have psychologists that we're affiliated with. Dr. Loris, my partner, is a clinical psychologist. She can tell you how rigorous the screening is. And that, to me, sets the stage for a smooth journey. So whoever you're talking to, you want to make sure, I think of a couple of things. One, that screening is being done before the match is made, because that will protect you. And two, that there's a lawyer on board. I think it's very important because surrogacy is a complex way to have a baby. It's very doable, it's very safe, it's very legal, but it is complex, and you want to have a go-to person that you can talk to about legal questions and complexities, or that knows other lawyers. So for example, if I were to match you with a surrogate in Florida or Pennsylvania, I know the lawyers in those states where I would want you to land to have a competent lawyer on your team. Okay, so that said, I know these sessions go really fast, but I'm going to just break down the cost a little bit for you in terms of what we do. First of all, we participate with GPAP. We've been a seed contributor to them since they started. We gave an initial $10,000 to GPAP, and we've been supporting of their endeavors ever since. We come to all the Men Having Babies conferences, so we're very, very active in the Men Having Babies organization and the community, the gay community, in terms of helping people have children through surrogacy. Cost, altogether on the surrogacy side, so not including your medical clinic, you have to be prepared for a range of something like $75,000 to $90,000. And I'll tell you why the variation there. But the first is the agency fee of $25,000. The only thing you pay up front is 1/2 of that. So you can start your entire process for $12,500 and pay nothing more until you're formally matched with a surrogate. And then, so that's like, say, 6 months down the line. Then the surrogate compensation, and that is something I think you're exposed to about $45,000 or $50,000 with everything. If you added up every penny in the contract, that's where it's going to add up. You might not pay all of that because let's say there's a component for lost wages. It might be a cap of $10,000, but if she has a healthy pregnancy, she may not lose a lot of time from work. You may only pay $1,000 or $2,000 in lost wages. So that's why I say you're exposed to a certain amount, but you may end up only paying like something like, $40,000. But it's important to know what's the outside limit. And then the legal fees will all be about $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. It shouldn't go over that. Doesn't matter what state you're in. The legal fees should be contained in that area. And then the variable is the insurance. Does she have medical insurance for the surrogacy pregnancy? If not, how are we going to get it? And what is it going to cost? So very often we're still using the Obamacare program. That's like roughly $500 a month. And you have to have that in place for maybe about a year, a little over a year, let's say. So a lot of people do have really smooth journeys: pregnancy, egg donor, embryos, pregnancy, have a baby. There can be things that happen. So maybe about 10% of parents need a second surrogate. Why might that happen? One is she doesn't respond to the medication, so the doctor can't put her through the embryo transfer. Two might be she doesn't get pregnant. Okay, you try 3 times, she's not getting pregnant, you might need another surrogate for that reason. 3, occasionally people have miscarriages. You get pregnant and then there's a miscarriage and maybe she can try again or maybe she can't. So I say all these things not to be a downer by any means, but to also to be realistic, so that when you're embarking on this journey, if something happens, you know that that was a possibility, and how are you going to navigate it? And do you have the professional team that will help you navigate it and help you stay positive and help you stay on your path to having your baby? Because there are many people who have hurdles in their journey and they have losses and it's emotional and it's difficult. But if you have the right professional team, doctor and lawyer and surrogacy agency, you're going to be really supported. There's going to be a foundation there for you to keep on moving along on your journey. So if you need another surrogate, in our agency, you go to the top of the list. You're not going to wait another 6 months. You're going to go on the rematch list, which is short. It's maybe 2 or 3 long, as opposed to the original list, which is like maybe 20 long. Is there a fee for another surrogate? What do you have to pay? So in our agency, what we do is if she never makes it to an embryo transfer, so she didn't respond to the medication, there's no fee. She's never made it through a full process, so we're going to find you another surrogate for no additional fee. If she has made it through the process, she's done everything she could do to get pregnant and just not getting pregnant, no one knows why, there is a $6,000 rematch fee. So you're not starting all over, but for us, we don't charge you a screening fee. We only charge you a screening of the surrogate once. So that $6,000 will help us to screen another surrogate and also cover us a little bit for the work and resources we do in putting out ads and whatnot for surrogates. Okay, so how do we get surrogates? We have an outside marketing team, actually. We put a lot of resources into finding surrogates. We have an outside marketing company that does a lot of ads online, Facebook, Google ads. We pay them every month to do this for us. I think that's really important because it is competitive to get surrogates. Only about 3 or 5% of all surrogate applicants actually make it through the screening. So it's very difficult to get good qualified surrogates. So the fact that we put resources into marketing is good for you. Also, we have a referral system. We have a lot of surrogates that have worked for us already, and we pay them a commission if they refer a friend or family member who becomes a qualified surrogate. So we do a lot on your behalf, so we're not just profiting from the agency fee that you pay us. We're using a lot of that. I think it's important to know, because why are you paying this money to these professionals to help you find a surrogate? It's because of what we do to make you have a good, safe, sound, stable journey toward having your baby. And we have a whole team of people in Connecticut. We also have an office in New York. But we also have parents all over the country, all over the world, really. We have a lot of parents from Europe and Israel, mostly Europe and Israel in terms of our international client base. But we have parents in everywhere, California, Florida, the Midwest, Latin from New York. So we stand ready to be a resource for you, even if you were ultimately not to sign up with us. As you're looking at all your materials and digesting information and planning, if you would like to speak with me again, you can Skype with me, call me, speak to my team. We really want to be a resource and available and help people to have their children through surrogacy. So I want to thank you a lot for coming. And we do have that discount card. I think Michelle gave it out. So if you were to sign up with us as a result of coming to this breakout session, we would take $1,000 off the agency fee.
Where's the email?
Did we get everybody to sign up, at least one email out of the couple? Thank you so much. All right. Good luck with everything. Have a great rest of the day. And again, we're here for you if you want to know more. Okay? Yeah.
Any questions? You still have 2 minutes.
Okay, so I have 2 minutes, so I did good with my time. Do you have any questions for me on what I've said? Yeah.
So can you explain the surrogacy compensation? So the way that, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. Is it you, so as an IP, do give them a chunk of money and then reimburse them for other expenses they have? Or do we just pay them as they need money, or how does that all work?
So you will have an escrow company helping you, again, either through me or through that company's seed trust, wherever you choose. So in our program, during that second phase, that medical contract phase, there is a time when you have to put about $50,000 into your escrow account. And that's your money. It's like a savings account. And your escrow company will be every month paying the surrogate either her monthly stipend, so if she has a $30,000 base compensation, she's going to get $3,000 a month from when she gets pregnant through the end of the pregnancy, like 10 months. And then also, as she has other expenses, so lost wages, she has to submit a claim and verify the lost wages. And then we would let you know this is a claim being made, and you would approve it, and she would get her lost wages. Other things like she might have a fee of $750 to go through an embryo transfer. When she goes through the embryo transfer, that will be paid to her. So in our system, you have a monthly statement. It's really like a bank account. It's all computerized, it's insured, it's cybersecurity insured. Every month you get a statement, and you can also ask for the statement in the middle of the month whenever. We can just generate a printout to let you know what's in there, what's being used, and if you have any questions about it.
The $30,000 stipend, does she use that for any of these related expenses, or is that just her money that she gets to keep and use whatever she wants to?
That's her money.
Okay.
Yeah, that's her money. Usually the surrogates don't go out of pocket at all. They even get a monthly allowance. I have, I don't know if
Want one of these?
no, the books. Well, at our table we have some little books on surrogacy, and I outline a lot about what goes into the contract there. And also on our fee sheet, which is in the folder, or on our drive, on the second page of the fee sheet, you can see the breakdown of what usually generally goes into a surrogate contract.
Okay.
Yeah, but so $30,000 is her money. There's a monthly allowance of something like $250 that she uses to pay babysitters or mileage, or whatever she needs in terms of every month. So it's very, very detailed. The contract is like 30-something pages, very detailed, very clear. And when you have that in your hand, you'll see all the black and white items that you would be paying a certain surrogate. That's part of the matching, too. When a profile is presented to you, what is her compensation plan? It usually falls within a range. I mean, there's very rarely a surrogate asking for a skyrocket amount. Usually they're falling within a certain standard. And that's another good reason why you want an experienced professional, because we know what the standards are. Like, I probably do 2 or 3 surrogacy contracts a week, so I can advise you what is going to go into the contract, what should go into the contract. Is this too high? Is this right? So that's what you want, is somebody with a trained eye.